If you know me, check out. So don't get attached to your nipples. They're gonna change with pregnancy brain. Yeah, never heard that. Never. Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Bailey if you're new here, and you can tell by the title, today is going to be a girl talk, TMI, juicy topics, pregnancy edition video. Little background, I filmed this entire video already. I was set up real cute in my living room and I hated it. And I decided to scratch the whole video and redo it and sit in my bedroom floor where I'm most comfortable. And we're just gonna chat like as if we were having a little hangout. I have a list of little topics on my phone so I don't lose track because pregnancy brain. But yeah, I just want to jump right into it. If you're a family member, friend of mine, maybe a guy, maybe click out of this video. It's not for you, but it is for all of you current pregnant ladies, or maybe you're wanting to get pregnant, or maybe you've never been pregnant but you're just curious, because I was definitely one of those people. This is the video for you. I'm going to be talking about some juicy topics. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. Okay, the first things I want to talk about are the symptoms that I wasn't aware of. So everybody talks about how your boobs are sore, how you get morning sickness. Your symptoms are similar to that of when you have your period. I, on the other hand, did not have those symptoms. I will say my boobs were tender. That was my very first sign. But other than that, I really haven't had any sickness, anything crazy like that. But the things I did have are things that I never heard of. I've never heard a pregnant lady talk about having these, at least not my family or not my friend group. So I have experienced tailbone pain, which I will say was very weird. I felt like I had broke or dislocated my tailbone. After a while, I finally looked it up and it said that it's common, but at first I literally thought it was just maybe I bumped into something and didn't realize. Maybe it was from working out. I had no idea that this was even a possibility of like a pregnancy sign, but I did look it up and I asked my doctor also, and it is my body and my pelvis area down there moving, and it causes my tailbone to be super tender. But no joke, if I sit in a chair for too long, it is so painful, to the point there are some days where I feel like it's hard for me to drive, like while I'm sitting in my seat, because it's so uncomfortable. So it's pretty intense. I never knew that was a thing. I also never knew that headaches and migraines were a sign or a symptom of pregnancy. I had never had headaches before, and it's definitely a common thing. And since I've started to get them, I posted about it on my Instagram story, and a lot of you had messaged me and told me that you get them as well. So that was very interesting to me. My doctor said it has something to do with the extra blood in my body, obviously because of the baby. But I have noticed whenever I'm up moving, there was one day when I was vacuuming, my head just started pounding so bad. And it's kind of hard because when you're pregnant, you're not really supposed to take certain painkillers. So I've really been trying to not just take a painkiller every time I get one. But for somebody that hasn't had headaches a lot in their lifetime, it's pretty freaking intense. Okay, another thing I wasn't aware of were my nipples. This is one of those things, if you know me, check out, okay? But yeah, my nipples, I never realized. I knew that when you're pregnant towards the end, or like when you start breastfeeding, your nipples change, but I didn't realize how much they change in early like pregnancy. So yeah, definitely like changes in colors, changes in size. Also, another thing, walking in the cold. I cannot go in the freezer aisle without multiple layers on, because I literally feel like my nipples are gonna fall off. Your nipples get sensitive. I knew your boobs got sore, duh, but I never knew the intensity of them, and I didn't know it happened this early on. So that's a lot to look forward to. I'm sure they'll change even more, but yeah, yeah, your nipples. So don't get attached to your nipples. They're gonna change. Okay, another thing that I had never heard of before was ligament pain. Yeah, never heard of that. Never heard of ligament stretching. And I will say this is the one that's the most intense. So I will say the first day I got ligament pain, I was sitting at my desk and I was working. And I legit thought that my appendix were rupturing because it was on my right side. It hurt so bad. It was such a sharp pain. And whenever I would get in the fetal position or like bend over, you know, because when your stomach hurts, I just do that out of habit. It hurt so bad, like so bad. And since then, it's happened to me in a dead sleep. It'll wake me up and it just like puts my body like in a, I just can't move. Like it freezes me because if I move, it gets worse. And it'll last for like a couple minutes and then it'll go away. And it's the weirdest thing, but it's very intense, at least for me anyway. I think they're so painful and I'd never heard of it before. I looked it up and it said that's what it was, and then I asked my doctor and she said the same thing, that it is ligament stretching, my body stretching and moving down there to make room for the baby. But I was not aware that it would be that intense. And like I said, I've never heard, my mom, my aunts, my grandmothers, my cousins, everybody that I know that has had a baby, I've never heard anybody talk about ligament stretching, much less how painful it is. So if you've experienced this, let me know if yours was pretty intense. Mine was intense, you guys. Like it hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. There was a day where I was in the grocery store and Jackson was behind me and I legit froze and I couldn't move for like 2 minutes. We were just sitting in the aisle and he knows now, like, don't talk to me, don't touch me. Because it hurts so bad. Like I cannot move whenever it happens, and then all of a sudden it'll go away. Okay, the next thing I want to get into is when we decided that when we found out we were pregnant, Jackson and I, we had decided we were not going to find out the gender. And I am super, super happy that we've stuck to it. And there's been moments where I've really been like, dang, it would be so nice to know, to be prepared. But realistically, I have grown up with babies. I've babysat a lot. Babies don't need a lot. Like, they need just a lot of love. You know, their needs are very few and far between, and having tons of gender specific outfits is not important, at least not for me. So I really was super adamant about not finding out, and the more we've gone on, Jackson is getting more and more excited because my vision is I want him to be the one to tell our parents in the waiting room what the gender is after we've had the baby. So I'm super excited about that, but I didn't realize how many people would feel like they are obligated to know, like they have the right to know what the gender is. And I didn't ever think that there would be so many people that think we're crazy for not finding out. I think it is the most fun thing, but there are a lot of people that are just baffled at the fact that we're not finding out. And people have actually given their like strong opinions that they're pissed that we're not finding out, which I think is very weird because, like, why? Like, why do you care so much? Never knew that that was a thing, that would be a thing. I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like when the baby comes, when people like feel like they have like this sense of control, because you know, it's our baby and this is something that we've chose to do, and we're super excited about it. Like, we feel like it is Christmas and we feel like a couple of little kids, and we're so excited, and as long as the baby's happy and healthy, that's all that we care about. So, you know, at the end of the day, whether it's a boy or a girl doesn't really matter. We're excited to find out, but we just never realized how many people would be like so just irate about us not finding out the gender. It's wild. So if you decide to not find out the gender, hopefully you don't deal with those same things. All right, and next I want to talk about friendships and pregnancy. This is something that I have dealt with personally, and not all of the situations have been bad. I have some friends that have been really, really great and really supportive from the get-go. And, you know, I'm so grateful for that. You know, I have friends that reach out to me that live out of state even, and they text me and want updates on a regular basis, and I love that. But I never realized how hard it would be to have friends because I'm still semi-young. Like, I'm gonna be 27 when I have this baby. That's not that young. I'm still in that phase of, I have friends that are married and have kids, and I also have friends that are still partying, and they're still like in that college phase. And I never realized how hard it would be to kind of detach from that lifestyle, which if you're pregnant, you don't have to do that, I guess. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. But that was just a personal decision that I decided to make, and it's been kind of difficult. And on top of that, it's been difficult to not have friends be supportive, not hear from friends. You know, not everybody's gonna want to sit with you on the couch on a Friday night instead of going out partying, and sometimes that's hard. But I'm super grateful because I have Jackson, and he's so supportive. And even him, he has never made me feel like he's missing out on anything. He doesn't choose his friends. He chooses to be with me, and, you know, we do things together through this pregnancy. He wants to be as in it and a part of it as I am. So I am super, super grateful for him. That's made it very, very easy. But yeah, outgrowing friendships and being in different walks of life than friends has been a little bit more difficult than I ever really realized. So yeah, that's been very interesting. If you are experiencing it, you're not alone. I think that everybody goes through it. I have heard from several people that have had babies, the same things have happened to them, and everybody just goes, you know, down different walks of life differently, and everybody's kind of dealing with their own things. So happiness in your pregnancy might not be that happy for your friends, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be happy and that you shouldn't choose to do what's best for you and your baby. Nala's decided to join us. She's sitting here to my right. My next topic is, just because it happened to them doesn't mean it is going to be what happens to you. And what I mean by that is, just because your mom had a C-section doesn't mean that you're gonna have a C-section. Or just because your significant other's mom had her kids at a certain weight and, you know, had them within this time frame doesn't mean that's gonna be your story. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's birth is different. You're talking about two beings, you and your baby. So, you know, the outcome is going to be different, and there are going to be a lot of people that come to you with opinions, tell you their story. It's going to freak you out, and the thing that I've realized is it's all irrelevant. You know, it's one thing if they're telling you something to try and help you, but take it with a grain of salt and just move on and know that whatever happened to them is their story, and you have the ability to live your own story. So I've definitely fallen into the trap of letting that kind of stuff stress me out and allowing all of these people's plans and ideas and things that they experienced really just consume my mind. And honestly, you can't do that. Like, you cannot do that, because all it's going to do is allow stress and worry, and I can assure you that that is the last thing that you want when going into the delivery room. So yeah, learn to block the haters out. Take it with a grain of salt. You know, if that's your mom or your grandma coming to you trying to, you know, just tell you kind of things that can be expected, that's totally okay. But just because it happened to them does not mean that it's gonna happen to you. All right, you guys, that is it. That is my girl talk, hot take, TMI video. Hopefully you guys found enjoyment out of this, and if you're dealing with similar issues or symptoms, definitely let me know in the comments down below. If you're new, you should definitely subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos, and make sure you like this video. It really supports my channel. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you really soon in my next video. Bye!